Okay, we're now back in the family editor and we're going to make a few modifications to this object to make it a little bit more user friendly. So the first thing I'm going to do is deal with the legs of the table. As you can see there, once you click on them, they're all selected at the same time. This could possibly cause some issues later on. But so what we're going to do is create individual components for each of those, make it a little bit easier to deal with. So what I'm going to do here is make my life a little bit easier by creating some reference lines. So what I'm going to do is very quickly going to draw those in roughly the correct location. So click here. What I'm going to do is draw these in just in rough, and then what I'm going to do is use the dimensions to place them correctly. So there we go, that's that. So what I'm going to do now is modify the location of each of these. So I'm going to click on this line here, and it gives me some dimensions to play with. Currently I've got a 343 there, so what I can do is pick up this little blue dot and attach it to the top face there, and change that to 100. That'll push it down to 100 mil. I'm going to do the same on this one here. Dimensions are already reasonably accurate there, 98, so let's change that up to 100. And I'm going to do the same on each side. So I've got 77.8 here, just change that to 100. And do the same here. Again, it's doing dimension between those green lines, so I can just pick that up, move it over here, and change this to 100. So now they're all in the correct position, and you can see how bad the legs are. So what I'm going to do is delete all of these and recreate them again using the extrusion tool. So there's my extrusion tool under the Create tab. Click on that, get my circle, and this time, because I have these reference lines, I can find the centers points a bit better and pull them out to 40 mils. And this time, as I said, I'm going to do them individually. Now the reason for that is because later on we're going to be setting up some parameters which require these to act independently of each other. There's another one there. And back into Create, Extrusion, Circle, get another one, 40. So I could copy these. Would probably be a much quicker way of doing it. Well, we're nearly done now anyway. So there we go. So we have all of those now in there. Again, take a quick look in a 3D view. See what we have. And there's my lines, they're all still there. Again, they're a bit short now, and I can either move the tabletop down or I can extend these up. So what I'll do is I'll grab these and extend them up. So holding the control button down, grabbing each of those, and again changing the extrusion there to 450, and click apply. So you can still edit them together in that manner. Okay, so that's those a little bit tidier. Now what we want to do is start to explore some of the real usefulness of this system, which is by creating a single object like this, we're kind of limited in what we can do. So it'll make a lot more sense to have a way of changing the length and width of the table to suit well, different designs. So I'm just going to get rid of these, I don't want them anymore. Well, I might regret that. What we're going to do is set up some dimensions and have those set up as parameters that we can change on the object as and when we want to. So what I'm going to do is use the Annotate tab here and start adding some aligned dimensions. Save the project, not do that now. So I'm going to grab over here, and currently that's reading 500. That's fine. And I'm going to grab the length of it here. And that's 1000. That's fine too. So those two dimensions there currently are not telling me much of anything other than existing size. What I really want to happen is I want to be able to modify these dimensions as and when it suits me. So what I'm going to do is click on the Modify button here and grab the dimension. So I was clicking on the dimension. And you see there it has, okay, modified dimensions, leader, prefer wall center lines, etc. And we have this label function here which currently says none. What we can do is use the drop down here and click on Add Parameter. And that brings up a dialog here that we can use to set up and use that dimension as a control. So I'm going to call this length. And you can see there, discipline common length of parameter, our type of parameter is length. group parameter under dimensions, fine. And there's a tooltip there if you want to use it. So I'm going to click OK on that. And when I do that, you're going to see there length equals 1000. What that is telling us is that we can now modify this to suit ourselves. I'm going to do the same on the 500 dim. So I'm going to click on the 500. And again, I'm going to set a label on this one. I'm going to add a parameter. And this time I'm going to call it width. Everything else looks okay, so I'll click OK. So now I've got width 500. So that now that I've that set up, I can have a look in the family types here, and we can see there we now have length 1000, width 500. What I can do is I can change these things in here, changing that to 400 for instance, click apply, and there we go. That just changed. Now, one of the reasons we have to create independent legs is because of this. While it changed that, what it didn't do was move the leg. So currently the leg is protruding outside the tabletop, which doesn't work so good. So what we're going to do is change that back to 500, click apply, and we'll deal with the leg, well, fixing the locations of those in a moment. Okay.